Hello again, viewers. This is Based Jalaran here with another video, and today we are doing my pickups for June of 2017. Now, before we start, you're going to notice something a little different, and that is the fact that I'm not shaking the camera all over the goddamn place because I decided to try using my webcam and my computer for this one. Definitely going to be a lot less disorienting for people who watch, but expect videos that are a lot less shaky in the future. So, I'm not going to ramble a lot, I'm just going to start right off and show you my pickups. And my first pickup isn't really a book at all. It's not a graphic novel, not a manga, not a light novel, it's also not an anime, but it does involve something that I love very, very much. And that would be, it might not fit into frame, but at least I can show you what it is. It is the Magic the Gathering Commander Anthology. Now, I was especially excited for this box. I love Magic the Gathering. Like, I love the story, and I love the characters, and I love the art, but I don't play Standard. Modern and Legacy and stuff like that are just way too intimidating to me, but I love playing Commander. I love playing EDH. That's my favorite, probably only format I can play and enjoy myself. So when they announced that they were doing a Commander anthology, I was super hype, and me and my husband, we split the box, and I couldn't be happier with this purchase. It contains 4 of these doohickeys, which are counters, which don't seem very special until you figure out that these were originally released in the one of the original Commander sets that Wizards of the Coast put out, and a single one of them, at least before this Commander Anthology came out, were going for the double digits, just for a single counter. So it's really cool. It comes with 4 of them, and it comes with 4 Commander decks from the first 4 Commander sets that Wizards of the Coast put out. And originally, each of these decks, the main commander, wasn't foil, but in these ones, we finally get these specific ones and are foiled out, and that's pretty damn cool, especially considering the decks we have. And I'm going to show you at the very least the commanders for each of these decks, in case you didn't know what they were. So first we have Marin of Clan Naltoth. Some of these we've played with and some of them we haven't, which you're going to notice, because some of them have been completely sleeved, and one of them we still actually haven't. I think it's, yeah, this one specifically we haven't even cracked open. Kalia of the Vast. Nice and shiny. Derevi, Empirical Tactician. And finally, probably the biggest reason that I wanted to get this box is Freyalise, Lenoir's Fury. And as soon as we got the box, I immediately transplanted her into my own EDH deck, where I had the original Freyalise that wasn't foil, and I kind of just switched them out. But yeah, I'm super happy with this purchase. I'm really glad that we got something this cool for something that I actually care about in terms of like gameplay for Magic the Gathering. So yeah, it was expensive, but it was definitely worth it. And now we're gonna get on to the regular stuff, my pickups, and we're gonna start with light novels and stuff like that. Which I know last video I said like, oh, I don't collect that many light novels, but I have a pretty impressive stack of them this month. And to start off, we have, it's not really a light novel, but it's a book. And that is Manga in Theory and Practice, The Craft of Creating Manga by Hirohiko Araki. I discovered that Viz was going to put this out like a couple of months ago, and I've been hype about it ever since. It's just really cool to get into the mind of one of Japan's most popular mangaka and see how he writes manga and how he draws manga. It is just really cool to get inside this man's head. And if you like JoJo, and if you just like Hirohiko Araki's work in general, I definitely recommend picking this up because it is a really interesting read. Next up, we have more Monogatari stuff, because last month I picked up volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Bake Monogatari, and so this month I picked up Kizu Monogatari, which is the prequel to Bake Monogatari, and trying to figure out, and then I got Nisei Monogatari, which is the sequel to Bake Monogatari. So I am all caught up with the Monogatari series, and now I can read them to my heart's content. I love the style in which Nisei Oisin writes. It's got a lot of character to it, and it doesn't read like a lot of light novels that you see on the market today. Next, we have an impulse buy of all impulse buys, and that is Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash, which is an impressively large light novel. Like, Seven Seas keeps on putting out these really thick light novels, which I guess I can appreciate. I really like big books. What can I say? I really like thick-ass books. I like them thick. And what's weird about this is that I never watched the anime, never saw a single episode, flipped through the manga art was uninspired, and it didn't seem all that interesting to me. But I saw the light novel, and my brain was all like, God, get this one, without any explanation as to why. But now I have it, and I haven't read it yet, but I really hope it was worth buying. So we're just gonna have to see. Next, we have a light novel that has an anime adaptation that I did see, and it's the reason for having bought it, and that is Sound Euphonium. Now, the anime, I saw the anime both seasons. My favorite anime of all time, definitely one of them. It was wonderful, and I loved it, and as soon as I saw that Yen Press was going to put out the light novel, I was mad hype, and I know that the light novel doesn't completely follow what the anime had, but I still really want to read it, at least to see where the anime originated from. And finally, we have Magical Girl Raising Project, which kind of just goes to show that if you slap the words magical girl on anything, I will buy the shit out of it. And this one, it's kind of got like that Madoka Magica kind of feel, kind of a darker take on your normal magical girl kind of story. I've already gotten in this one. This one's the first one that I've dug into out of all my light novels. It's pretty good so far, and I really like the art inside of it. I really like how soft and cute everything looks. I do love that soft and cute shit. Alright, and now we are going to get into new pickups in manga. And I got pretty decent stack. I'm pretty sure, again, it's like about 50-50 for new pickups and continued series. And first up, we have After Hours, which is a Yuri manga published by Viz Media, which I'm so glad to see Viz jump into the Yuri scene, especially with this one, because I think out of all the Yuri that's been published this year, this one probably is about like my second favorite. And what I love about this is every single Yuri I think we've gotten thus far, at least from in recent memory, has all taken place in high school, which, not to hate on Yuri that takes place in high school, it makes sense to set it in high school because, you know, you got kids going through puberty, and figuring out their sexuality, etc., etc. But this one is about full-grown adults in the adult world, and we got this character who's like 26 and this character who's like 30, and it's just so refreshing to see a Yuri starring people my age. Yuri starring adults. I would like to see more of this. I know that Viz is going to put out another Yuri later this year, but it looks like another Yuri that takes place in high school, which again, I'm okay with. But I would really like to see more Yuri that takes place during, like, later walks in life. Like, that would be pretty rad to see. Next up, we got the Manga Tube's darling manga of the month. Because every month there's like a new release that almost every big manga tuber gets and they love and they've been looking forward to, and it's always something that I just happen upon like by complete motherfucking accident. And that is Golden Kamui. Now, I actually didn't buy this for myself. I bought this for my husband because this is definitely his kind of aesthetic. It's definitely something that he would definitely enjoy. And I buy enough manga for myself. I figured I'd buy something for him, and he's read it, and he said he enjoyed it. So I'm probably going to read it soon, just to figure out what all the hype is about. But so far I haven't read it yet. But if what my husband said is anything to go by, it's a pretty decent series. I'm pretty sure. And I've heard plenty of other reviews by plenty of other people praising this one, so I have high hopes. Next up, we have a release that I was really looking forward to, and that is Land of the Lustrous. And one thing that you are going to hear most out of everything for everybody who's picked it up this month is you're just going to hear a lot of people comparing it to Steven Universe. And yes, it stars these otherworldly creatures called gems, and they fight off like invaders that from I'm guessing outer space that plan to destroy Earth or destroy them. So it's got that Steven Universe theme, but it's nothing like Steven Universe. So, like, if you like Steven Universe, pick it up, but just know that other than having characters who are gems fighting off space invaders, it's not very close to Steven Universe at all. But don't let that put you off. The art in here is gorgeous, and the story is really unique and cool. Definitely can't wait to continue to pick up this series. This is probably my second favorite for the month. Definitely a good series to look into. Next up, we have a really unique volume I found near the end of the month, and that is the life-changing manga of Tidying Up, a Magical Story. This is a self-help manga, and I don't think I've ever heard of a self-help manga before. I don't know if they exist. I don't know if this is a genre that I'm just now figuring out about, and there's actually a lot of other manga that teach you about, like, you know, like healthy living and organization and how to, like, stay clean, etc., etc., live your life to the fullest. But this is just really interesting to me. It's really a novel concept. It's based off of a book, I think, written by Marie Kondo. That is pretty much the same thing. It's like her method to staying clean and tidying up and changing your life for the better. And it's been converted into manga format, and it's kind of like a story about this woman who just wants to start, you know, tidying up her life and cleaning her living space. But it's got from what I read, it's got a lot of really helpful tips for staying organized and getting rid of clutter. And it's a really cool manga. It's got a really cute, unique art style. It is flipped. I don't know if it was originally published left to right, but it is left to right. Next, we have my favorite new release for this month. I have looked forward to this manga since November of last year when Seven Seas announced that they were going to be releasing it this year, and that is my lesbian experience with loneliness, which was definitely a different experience than what I thought I was going to get. I knew it was autobiographical, but I didn't realize how painfully real it was going to be. It's about the author, Nagata Kabi, and her struggles with intimacy and mental illness and eating disorders and trying to be accepted by her family. And there's just so much in here. So many times where I had to just take breaks from reading this because it got too real. It just got too real for me. But it is a really good read. It is really nice. I definitely recommend it to anybody. Just buy it, read it. It's great. Going from that to a bit more of a sour note, I got this manga because of what people were saying about it. Not a lot of people are talking about it, but the people who have described it as being a yuri. And you know me, I am yuri trash, and I will jump on anything so long as it's a yuri. So as soon as I heard at least 2 people call this manga series a yuri, I immediately ran to the bookstore, literally same day, and picked up both volumes that were out, ripped them open because they were plastic wrapped, ripped them open in my car and started reading them, and was just hit by this wave of disappointment. Because there is a difference between a yuri, a romantic series between 2 girls or 2 women, and a series that has a lesbian character whose sexual exploits are framed for the fan service, definitely framed towards more of a male audience. And that is Murcielago, Volumes 1 and Volume 2. Now, I'm not gonna hate on this series. It's a good series, as it is. It is a good action series, good a lot of gore, if you love your gore. And yes, this character is the lesbian, and she does have 1 or 2 very graphic sexual encounters within these 2 books, at least. But just because there is a lesbian character who has 1 or 2 graphic sex scenes doesn't make it a yuri. It just makes it a gory action manga starring a lesbian character who's just really, really sexual. You might call it a yuri, but this is not my definition of a yuri. And I'm going to continue to collect this because it's a good series, but I'm not going to continue to collect this because, ooh, this character makes love to women. There's something about calling this a yuri that leaves just a bitter taste in my mouth, and I don't like it. And mostly just to save on time, I'm going to parade these out all at once because these were all my crazy impulse buy pickups. All of them are 7 Seas because 7 Seas has this weird ability to just publish a manga and put a cover on it that I see, and just a weird idea worm gets into my head, and it's like, you gotta buy that one, gotta get that one, base, gotta get that. And no matter how much I ignore it, I wind up buying it anyway. It's like fucking candy to me. It's candy for my eyes. And I haven't heard of any of these series previously. I just bought them when I saw them because they looked pretty, and the colors were eye-catching, and they just looked nice. I am definitely under the spell of 7 Seas, that is for sure, and that is Ultima Mania, which is a series about a girl who works at an otome game-making company. And it is told in a way that makes it seem like an Ultimate game in and of itself, with an Ultimate Gameception going on here. Red Riding Hood and the Big Sad Wolf, which is a dark comedy starring Red Riding Hood, who is a psychotic arsonist, and the wolf, who is a big, sad, sensitive crybaby. Then we have Beasts of Abigail, which isn't as colorful as the other two, but the art is just so definitely my aesthetic. You know how much I love that soft, pretty artwork. Especially I love how her hair look. I love the hair in general. It's so poofy and curly and I love it. Then I got points to you if you can read this title immediately. I got Concrete Revolutio. Now, when I found this, fun fact, it was in the J's, because how the fuck are you supposed to know that that is a C and not a J? I know that they flipped it to make it symmetrical and like cooler looking, but it is impossible to read at first glance. And I haven't read this one yet. Once again, I saw it and the colors were so pretty, and it's complete in one volume, so it's not that big of a commitment. Something about Seven Seas definitely has me under their spell. And before we go on, I completely forgot that I also got a graphic novel this month, just one, and that is The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 5, Imperial Phase, Part 1. This is definitely one of my favorite graphic novels of all time, and if you are interested in graphic novels in any way, I definitely recommend this. I love the characters, the art is gorgeous, the plot is new and interesting, and I just can't wait to figure out what happens next. It is definitely one of my favorite graphic novels. Alright, and now we are moving on to continued series in manga. And first one I'm going to start out with, because I have a bit of a rant about it, is Hero Mosaic, which if you have watched my videos before, you know that these volumes and all of Yen Press's 4 Koma titles are $17 fucking dollars. Now, I understand that manga over time gets more and more expensive. That's just how the economy works. I get that. I have been collecting manga since I was 12, and just to give you like just an example of how long I've been doing this, I'm 26 now, so I know that manga gets expensive. I have lived manga getting more and more expensive as time goes on. But this makes no sense to me, because when Yen Press first started, when Yen Press started releasing stuff under their company, everything was $10.99. It was during the idealistic time where pretty much everything that was a standard release that wasn't fancy or hardcover was like $10.99, $9.99. It was a magical time. But it couldn't last for very long, and manga started getting more and more expensive. And it makes sense in some way that Yen Press's standard titles went from $10.99 to like $13. I'm willing to accept that that makes sense. And I'm even willing to accept that their larger, fuller sizes, like Love at 14, like the larger volumes, went from $10.99 to $15. I can accept that. I can't accept this. I can't accept somehow their 4 Koma manga, which has about as many full color pages as like their standard releases, half the size of their standard releases and their large volume releases, somehow jumped $7. I don't understand this price tag. I don't understand what made these much more expensive than anything else they put out, or just standard stuff. I don't understand. I just don't understand. If someone can explain it to me, that would be wonderful, because in this moment, I don't understand why their 4 Komas, which are tiny itty bitty books with not a lot of even full color pages, are $17. I don't get it. I don't get it. Moving on to something a little more calming, we have Flying Witch Volume 2, which is definitely a series I would recommend, especially for people who are fans of Kiki's Delivery Service. This definitely has that Kiki's Delivery Service aesthetic, and it's just a very nice manga, a very cute manga. The art is very simple and clean, and it's just a very nice, relaxing story. Next up, we have Mysterious Girlfriend X Volume 6, which is the final volume in the series. Woo! Yeah, I feel very accomplished having collected this, since I discovered it in high school and was kind of interested in it, and then I got mad hyped that it was starting to be released in print. And it's just, I love this series so much. Like, call it like generic and dull as much as you want. I love the innocence and like the bizarreness of this series. It's just so great. I just love it so much, and I'm so glad to have it as a part of my collection. Finished, complete, nice on the shelf. Love it. Next up, we have Species Domain. Just more of the same stuff, more comedy, more... It's just a standard rom-com. There's not a lot of, uniqueness to it, but I do love there's a specific chapter about this winged character over here that especially pulls at one's heartstrings. It's a really nice volume. I like it. Next up, we have Assassination Classroom Volume 16. We are definitely coming up to the end, folks, and what I really love about this one is if you look at it, check out all that flashback. You know shit's going down when you got that much flashback in your standard size manga. Next, we have something from my completion list, and that is more of Death Note, and I got Death Note Volume 10, Death Note Volume 11, almost fell over, and Death Note Volume 12, which completes the series for me. Also, I've made a personal decision not to buy Death Note Volume 13 How to Read, because why the fuck would I? It's just an over-glorified character book, that's all it is, and I don't really want it. Next up, we have Monster Hunter Volume 8, which concludes the Logia Cruise fight that started in the last volume. And this is why I prefer this one, Monster Hunter Flash Hunter, to Monster Hunter Orage, because Monster Hunter Orage, they would fight like 2 monsters per volume, and they would just kind of overcome a monster generally quickly within like 1 or 2 chapters. And this one, it takes them like 1 or 2 volumes to defeat a monster, and it just has a more grandiose feel, and it just harkens back to so many experiences one will actually have when playing Monster Hunter, and I just love it so much. It's almost done, there's only like 10 volumes left, and I do believe that Volume 9 has a picture of my edgelord husbando on it, and I just fucking can't wait. Oh my god. Next, we have today's Cerberus Volume 4. Now, last volume, I try not to like give away too many spoilers, but last volume, oh actually never mind, this is a huge fucking spoiler. Spoilers, everyone! Just skip on ahead to the next volume, then we're about to like give shit away. In the last volume, they introduced like a rival character to add to like the growing harem going on in here, and I was kind of like, ugh, because it was like the childhood character whom the main character like made like this really innocent promise to when he was like a fucking kid, and she took it to me like, oh, we're gonna get married and we're gonna fuck and we're gonna have children and it's gonna be great, and really it didn't mean that at all. It was one of those. But thank the fucking Lord, in the beginning of this one, like 1 or 2 chapters in, she fucks off. Which, thank God. And there's a lot more shit about Rose in here. My beautiful puppy waifu. I love her so much. Oh my god. Next we have Sweetness and Lightning, Volume 6. I continue to love this series because, one, I don't know how to cook for shit, and the fact that this manga supplies you with so many recipes is such a godsend. And it's just so sweet and pure, and it's a wonderful read. What can I say? It's very heartwarming. and it makes you hungry as hell. Ooh, next we have Complex Age Volume 5, which means we only have one more volume to go before this series ends. This is a really great series, and if you are a cosplayer or if you're into cosplay in any way, especially if you're an adult, definitely look into Complex Age, because it is definitely the manga for you. Next we have Please Tell Me Gakko-chan Volume 3, a weekend turning adventure into the shit that wasn't adapted into the anime. So this is all brand new shit to me, and as much as I love Volumes 1 and 2, it was stuff that I'd already seen. And so it's really refreshing to see this series, which I love already, but it's fresh and new, and it's stuff that I don't know already happened yet, and it's great. Next, we have the shit hitting the fan volume of Goodnight Poon Poon, which I told you the shit would hit the fan. Of course I knew shit would hit the fan. I already read the series online. Of course I knew it was going to happen. But it's just so cool to have this in print and be able to just hold it in my hands and read it. This is where shit starts to, like, go downhill sharply down a cliff. Finally, this pickups video would not be complete without that Blam Greatness Volume 4. And it's just, oh, I love this so much. I love this. And there's only 2 more, and then it's going to be over. And then I'm not going to know what to do with myself because there's not going to be any new Satomu Nie stuff coming out in print. Alright, and that is the entirety of my pickups for June of 2017. Now, July is going to be really interesting because I'm going to be taking a trip to Los Angeles. Not for anything special like an anime convention or anything like that. Just adults going on a vacation for no reason other than to just go on a vacation because I can do that. Because I'm an adult. So yeah, I'm going to be going to Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, for a couple of days, and I plan on doing a little bit of vlogging there, and I tried to do some vlogging for you guys, so you're going to see some actual content from me, which, you know, I know is fucking wild, but yeah, look forward to that maybe, possibly. But until then, this is where I leave you. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing and liking my videos. I love you all so much, and I can't believe I've gotten as many subscribers as I have, considering what little content and the quality of content that I put out. Thank you for dealing with my shit, and please continue to deal with my shit, and I will see you in the next video.